So many people, hundreds, if not thousands, have no idea where they're at financially, which ultimately takes over every ounce of their being and really has a negative impact on them mentally in a massive way that you can't even imagine. Farmers are in the worst position. We've seen a lot of challenges in this industry, especially when it comes to suicide, because farmers are by themselves. You can only imagine where this gets them to mentally. Legacy Farmer started out of the overall financial collapse of my family farm operation back in 2005. Following that experience, it led me to become an ag banker, and becoming an ag banker really highlighted the massive gap that exists between farmers and finances. My parents are just one story. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of family farm operations going through this every single year. When we talk about why we built Legacy Farmer, it's to prevent other families from going through this, because it is a fact that hundreds of family farms are going out of business every year. So over the past 5 years, I've worked with more than 300 family farm operations, and through that process, we've really dug in and gotten to know these people. We went through hundreds of iterations of our product and our service and really tried to fine-tune and create something that can take somebody from financial chaos and disorganization inside their operation to financial confidence and clarity. I'm going to show you a strategy that we've implemented with hundreds of family farms over the years that's going to take your operation from feeling like you're just spinning your wheels year after year to finally gaining traction and moving towards building the operation that your family deserves and that you can pass on successfully to the next generation. Our customers and family farms across the nation have a simple way to take all of the complexities of running an operation and to put them into one simple platform that tells them what they need to know so that they're making the right decision versus the old way, hoping and praying. I got some things for you that will ultimately be the answers that you've been looking for. So make sure that you stick around for this entire training. Where the story starts is actually with my own family farm operation. Small town called Tribune, about 900 people. But the operation was actually started by my granddad back in the 50s. Each one of my granddad's kids, my aunts and uncles, and then my parents, all involved inside of the operation. When you think about the scale of it, our feed yard sat on a quarter of ground, right? 160 acres of pens and bunk line buildings and different facilities. And that was my dad's life's work, like literally physically there in front of him. Fortunately, in the summer of 2005, my dad was sitting at the kitchen table. I could tell by the look in his eyes that there was something wrong because there was this emptiness there. He looked at me and he said, "Well, I've got to tell you this, but everything's going away." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "The feed yard's going under." At the time, I didn't really understand how to take that in. I didn't understand the magnitude, but to him, that was 40 years of hard work completely ripped away from him in one afternoon, essentially, because banks giving up on us and they're going to start locking up, checking accounts and shutting us down here. We're finished. The weight of that story and the crisis and challenges that I saw my parents go through in that 3-year time period is hard to describe. It was tough losing the house, and we had to pack up, the basement and all the old memories and things like that. But the toughest part for me was seeing the identity shift and really the identity crisis that my parents went through, right? Where people's identity, their entire soul, is being ripped away from them because of variables that ultimately they can't control or because of just information that they didn't have access to. And that's what we built Legacy Farmer around. We would not have the drive or the passion or the commitment to go through what we've went through in order to build what we've built inside of Legacy Farmer unless I went through that experience with my parents. The thing is, though, is that my granddad and my dad did not have access to the tools that we do now. So the way that we've solved this is over the years, we've built out a product with our customers, hundreds of iterations, and we call that product Farmer Metrics. It's our proprietary software that we use. And what that starts with is first off, getting your businesses organized. So a lot of people inside of farming and ranching have multiple sources of income. They could have a farm operation, they could have a livestock operation. But the thing is though, is that they're running all these things together. They have no clarity and no optics into knowing, hey, this business is working really well and this business isn't working very well at all. So the first thing that we're doing is separating those things out so we can see very clearly what's working, what's not working. Then we move into establishing clear balance sheets and cash flow projections for each one of those businesses. Now, when I'm talking cash flow projections, most of you guys are going to say, well, yeah, Jace, I do an annual cash flow projection for the bank. I get that, but I'm sorry, that is the complete wrong way. What we have all of our customers do is a month-by-month cash flow projection. Between January 1st and December 31st, how many things are happening inside of that cash flow? Deep down, most people have no idea where they're going to be at the end of the year. And with our customers, I refuse to let them operate in that place of uncertainty. I want them to know down to the penny, if they wanted that level of detail, exactly what their profitability is going to be for the year. I'm going to show you how to take back complete control and leverage over your bank. You could go to any bank in the region and they would be happy to have you because you are the easy customer that they get to make money off of every single year because of how well structured you are financially. The software is useless if you don't know how to use it, right? So we are holding your hand every step of the way and walking you through and literally training you and educating you on what your numbers mean so that it's a useful tool for you to use long term. We want you to know the software better than we do about your operation so that at some point in the future, you maybe don't need us anymore. But the training and education piece is so important when it comes to using new tools like this. You may have a very complex operation with a lot of different variables, a lot of data to get inputted in here, but I can tell you, once you get everything put in there, you only have to put everything in once. After that, it's literally just simply updating it month by month, and you're gonna know exactly where you're at so that you have the absolute clarity on the next decision that you need to make inside of your operation.
I've seen people come in and literally create their dream life by committing to Legacy Farmer, and it was that one commitment that changed everything for them. When a person is stressed out to the max and they're running an operation, it's gonna affect every aspect of their life. What about your family? What about your kids and the relationship you have with your kids? What about your health? If you don't have those things, then what is all of this for? Let me get this straight, we don't tell you what to do, we teach you how to look at it. I've seen people negative $200,000 with the bank, and just by making different decisions, 2 years later, plus 1.3 million. We need you to feel confident that every decision you make, big or small, is the right move. We want to help solve those problems and ultimately help them create a different life for themselves that they don't even see at this point as possible.
A majority of success is in learning what not to do versus learning what to do. We have this community piece in Legacy Farmer where we do weekly calls. People are sharing the biggest mistakes. We've been able to really build this culture where people are comfortable talking about these things. We have literally thousands of hours of data and content of different scenarios people have been facing. If there's problems, you're gonna find the problems. That's what we're here to do, is expose the weaknesses inside the operation so that you can build something that you can successfully pass on to the next generation, right? Everybody here cares about legacy and doing everything they can to pass on a sustainable and successful operation to the next generation. One thing you need to understand is not every farm operation is created equal. Inside of Legacy Farmer and the hundreds of family farms that we've worked with over the years, some people are doing $500,000 a year in revenue, and we have some people that have a $50 million net worth on their balance sheet. But the thing is though, these people from an operational standpoint may be extremely different. The problems that they face are the same. First and foremost, the biggest one out there is financial scarcity. And so some of those people we've had to come in, all they've needed is just to get their numbers organized in a simple to read format so that they can actually, with confidence and clarity, know whether or not this $500,000 or multi-million-dollar decision that they're making is the right one for their farm, and be able to also factor in what are the other implications or things that could happen from making this decision from an operational standpoint, from a team standpoint, from a succession standpoint, and passing this thing on to the next generation. Most people today are operating 100% with their emotions. And the reason for this is that they do not have a tool to remove the emotions out of their decisions and make sure that they're making decisions that are grounded in logic and ultimately facts. Now, what we've done is with our software, we are taking all the emotion out of that decision. We want to make sure that when you are making this million-dollar, multi-million-dollar decision and purchasing this new piece of ground, we're considering how this financial decision is going to impact your position with the bank. We're considering how it's going to impact your cash flow and can you cash flow the payments. We're considering how it's going to impact your team and can we actually manage adding on these new acres. Do we have the infrastructure and the operational structure in place to be able to expand and grow like we want to? And ultimately, is everybody in the family in line here? The biggest change that we've noticed for our customers coming into Legacy Farmer over the years is that they're no longer making decisions based off of hope and emotion and just kind of trying to get by year after year. They're business owners. You're not making a decision if it does not fit into the logic and facts that we're looking for when we're looking at our numbers. And if it doesn't work financially, then we're not doing it, plain and simple. Now I'm going to share with you one of the biggest reasons that I sucked as an ag banker. When I was working with customers back in 2013, 14, 15, I was told to treat them a certain way from my boss. But the thing is though, is that when I looked across the table at those customers, I didn't see just two customers. I saw my parents. Right? I saw people that were stepping into this realm of making financial decisions in this world that they did not know how to operate in. I couldn't sit there and just BS people. I had to lay out the facts of the situation so that they really truly understood the magnitude of the decision that they were making and the compounding consequences that could happen from them making this decision and how it's going to impact their family in the future generations. Having a yes banker is one of the biggest problems that we're facing in this industry today. These ag bankers do not understand the magnitude of the financial decisions that these people are making. What we've consistently done is shown our customers kind of the back door into the bank so that they know exactly what type of information their banker is using to make decisions inside of their operation. Our customers know what their banker is going to say before they ever walk in the doors. And that is your responsibility as a business owner to know your numbers and know how the bank plays this game of business so that you know, again, what they're going to say and whether or not they're going to approve the loan before you ever walk in the doors. My granddad lived in this world where he had to start from literally nothing and build this operation from nothing to what it was back in 2005, a $10 million operation. The operation could not run if he was not there. Every question or everything that needed to happen in the operation had to go through him. That's okay in the beginning, but 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades in, you're immediately stunting the growth inside of your business and you're going to burn yourself out as a business owner, which I watched my granddad do. Now, the compounding consequences from doing this when you're getting pulled in all these different directions is you start to get emotional with your decisions as well. But these are the things that you need to be prepared for. A majority of people today coming into Legacy Farmer, they run centralized operations. They have not figured out how to let go to grow ultimately. And they think that they need to be involved and that they can't trust anybody. The truth is though, they just need to be shown how to structure the operation to where they can visually see from a 30,000 foot view exactly how all the pieces are moving on the chessboard and who is responsible for those pieces so that they can start to remove themselves out of it and get the time and freedom back that they've wanted and promised their spouse at home for years and years that they've never gotten inside the operation. biggest mistake that my granddad would make is he would do what's called end running. And what I mean by that is he would tell my dad to tell the guys, hey, go do this or go do that. But then midday, he would drive down to the feed yard and go around my dad and go straight to the employees and tell them to do something completely different. From a culture standpoint, this destroys any confidence and any culture you have in the company. At the end of the day, nobody knows what they're supposed to do, and this leads us right back into how people build a centralized operation, because now all the employees feel like the only person in power that's making any decisions was my granddad versus my dad at that time. You are losing thousands of dollars every single day or year because mistakes are happening because of a lack of communication and ultimately clarity in how the operation is to be run. The thing is your operation will never become what it can be if you're in every seat, literally doing every role there and doing the job of 6 men in one body. It's ultimately going to lead to chaos and burnout for you mentally. My grandfather back in the day, he fed all of his own cattle. So he had a $6 million operating line and he lost a lot of money in 1 year feeding his own cattle. Instead of trying to be strategic and thoughtful around how he was going to get that money back and really understand and appreciate the amount of time it was going to take for him to be able to make that happen, he tried to hit a home run. He lost even more money, and this 50-year operation went under in about 12 months because he was too emotional with his decisions and he was trying to hit home runs. Well, it's 2024 at the time of me recording this right now, and we've seen a drastic downturn in grain prices over the past 12 to 18 months. Now, a lot of people made decisions back in 2021, 22, and maybe 23 to where they made purchases based on those higher grain prices, and now this year, they may not be able to cash flow those purchases. So a lot of people, they're going to lean on their emotions, unfortunately, where their only hope to be able to survive long term is they have to hit a home run this year, and none of our customers are in that place. So if you made it this far in the video, first off, thank you. But second, it means that you resonated with something pretty deeply inside of this video. Maybe it's that you feel like you're on an island. You feel like nobody understands the problems and challenges that you're dealing with, whether that's financial, family, operationally, and you feel alone. I get that because a majority of family farm operations and the farmers within them are alone a majority of their day, and they're alone with their thoughts and they're alone with the stories, just like you are right now. When you look at Legacy Farmer and the type of culture that we've tried to build here, all of our customers and members here have the same core values, right? And it's probably the same core values that you have if you grew up in a small town. We focus on things like integrity, we focus on things like trust, we focus on things like community or helping your neighbors, and honesty. We have poured countless resources into our network, our software, and everything that's involved in Legacy Farmer to build the place that meets all of those core values. And those are the things that we're focused on inside of Legacy Farmer. So am I telling you, hey, it's gonna be easy? No, I'm not telling you that, because the people that come in here, they have to face some hard truths sometimes. But guess what? The result of not facing those hard truths is that you could be one of the 100 family farm operations that do go under in the coming years. Legacy Farmer was built by farmers for farmers. Everything that we do here is specifically designed to positively impact the lives of family farms in this country. We've done it for so many others, and we cannot wait to do it for you. At this point, you have an opportunity to make a big, bold decision in your life and move forward, or you choose to settle. If you want to move forward with us and you're really looking at Legacy Farmer, you want to find out more on how we can integrate it into your operation, there's only one thing left to do. Click the link below, schedule your call, and we're going to show you exactly how Legacy Farmer can change the future of your family farm operation.